I mean, no, no. You're 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 here. You're okay. Where have you been? I haven't seen you in so long, and then I haven't heard from you, and then I thought something bad had happened. It's so good to see you. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I've just been down in the mines.
Oh my god, it's so good to see you. I thought something bad had happened, and oh god,
No, nothing. Everything's fine. All is well. I'm
oh,
okay.
it's so good to see you. Oh my god, it's been so long. Or at least it's felt like it's been so long.
No, it's been a while. I was down there for a while. I don't have a good sense of time there, but
Neither do.
it was a
Honestly, I've been up here and I haven't had a good sense of time either. Time's kind of been an obscure concept now.
while. By the way, why were you sitting on Ash's throne?
So, you haven't heard?
Haven't heard what? Is she okay?
I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this or anything. I'm just gonna be straightforward. Ash is gone, and not gone in the sense as we were, where we were gone but then came back. But they're gone for good. They're not coming back.
No. How could that even happen?
They have a. I can show you. I came back from ironically talking with Sugar of all people, which is another thing we can talk about in a moment. But I had came back from talking with Sugar, and I came back and I found a book and a barrel in front of the throne, and I and it had all of Ash's stuff in it. The book is right here if you want to read it, but all of Ash's belongings, sword, shield, things that I had given them before, they were all in the barrel for me to find. Somehow, somehow the gods actually exist. Firefly was right in some weird twisted way. The gods exist, and I'm not sure if you remember the Garden of Divinity at all. It was like one of the first things we ever went to, or I ever went to, at least. But Ash, at that point, when she stepped on the throne, I don't know how, but she got corrupted by the Wither, which makes perfect sense now because they went from being nice and genuine to being like brash and intense and always looking for fights, and that corruption, they refer to it as the wither effect, where it began to wither away their soul bit by bit until it was left with nothing. And by the time that they became self-aware, it was already too late, and nothing could heal them at that point. So they didn't tell either of us because they didn't want us to worry and spend our days trying to fix an infixable cure at that point. And they left. They left. I don't know where they died at, but they're gone.
No,
And
I didn't even get to say goodbye.
funny, that's the same thing I said. Everyone made them out to be this villain or this terrible thing. Hell, even I did that at one point, but it wasn't them. They were written in to be this villain, but in reality they weren't. They were just not in control of their own mind or their own body, and they were written one way, but it wasn't the way that they were supposed to be. And with them gone, they passed on the throne to me since I was their second in command, so I've been ruling an empire now. It's, yeah. Um, yeah.
Oh my god.
To my knowledge, they had died at least twice, or at least once beforehand. They were killed. You didn't know about that either, did you?
No. Who killed them?
Sugar?
How?
The details are still vague, but from what I've heard, they got into an argument and Ash was kept egging Sugar on and on and on, and things went from there, and Sugar accidentally hit Ash too hard. But I'm not sure if Ash had another death beforehand, which would mean people can only come back maybe 3 times, which then means if I die again, I'm gone for good, maybe? I don't really know, because I don't know if they died before this or if they died only twice. Maybe another thing could be maybe they're just not choosing to come back, because one thing I figured out the second time I died is when I died the second time, I had a choice of whether I wanted to come back or not. I could have continued running for the door where the light shone behind it, or I could have just sat down and did nothing. I could have stayed, but I didn't. But I don't know. I don't know anything, and yeah, I thought you would have heard by now.
No, like I said, I was mining. No one really talks to me, so I don't get this kind of information.
I built them a grave if you wanna go see it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Take this with me. You're the only person, obviously, that I can trust. Do you mind being my second in command? If not, I get if it's too much to ask, because it is and so suddenly, but...
No, it's okay. I don't have any problems with becoming second in command. Anything to help out.
Thanks. I promised if I didn't want it to be this soon, but hell, I didn't think I'd be leading an empire this soon either. I signed up as second in command just to help Ash out where I could. This is what I built them for. That now, at least I haven't had much time on my own, but I also haven't been able to come up here by myself for a while, so yeah.
Here it is.
Part of me is still waiting for them to come back. I sit here day in, day out, and thinking that I'm gonna wake up and go to the throne and find them there working, and then it just never happens.
Never thought I'd have to see another grave.
Also, apparently we have, or at least had, our own. Apparently we've had graves for a while. Part of me wants to go and destroy them. If I'm being honest.
Probably a good idea. We're alive, so
We can go do that now. I think I know where they are, at least. As long as Firefly isn't here. It's Firefly me.
Yeah.
They're at Firefly's garden. Oh. There they are. Oh, and you have Bumbles as well.
very strange seeing your own grave, huh?
It's really weird. I know Firefly had good intentions, but I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
That looks a lot better. Oh. Oh no, I hated. As soon as Firefly had mentioned it, I knew I just had to get rid of it. I did not want to see it. But oh, it's so surreal. There were rumors going around that Firefly, of all people, murdered Bumble. And my issue is I don't think that's completely inaccurate. The only reason being is I didn't just hear it from Dandy. Dandy made this whole fiasco at the end, and there was yelling and screaming and fighting, and it felt all too familiar. But um, I didn't just hear it from Dandy. I heard it from about 2 other people that night, and the fact that I heard it from 2 people besides Dandy leads me to believe that maybe Bumble was actually murdered.
I mean, I've only heard it from Dandy, and I just assumed it was some sick joke.
Rumors flew faster in that ballroom, and that was one of the big ones that night.
Should we trust Firefly?
I never really have, if I'm being honest.
She seemed very off to me the first time meeting her.
She's always been off.
It's true.
I personally never really have and never really will trust her, but I have reason to believe that maybe Firefly was somehow involved. It's hard to see Firefly as the murdering type, though, which is what's confusing me because I don't know whether I believe it or not. Because she doesn't seem like she'd be the type to just go up and murder someone for fun.
No,
It's all just really confusing to me. I had went to talk to Sugar about why they took Tubby and why they killed Ash, and I was angry. And then they called in their favor. If you remember that lovely thing.
Yeah, I do.
They called in their favor, and their favor was for me to protect you. That was it. There was no if, ands, buts, fine print. It was just to protect you. And at that moment, I think I kind of began to realize that I wasn't sure I was angry at Sugar for killing Ash, but at the same time, it sounded like Ash just kept pushing them and pushing them to the point where that happened. I guess I'm still very unclear about that, but I realized that a lot of my anger that evolved from Dandy was needed somewhere to go, and I couldn't just go be angry at Dandy because I couldn't bring myself to speak with them at all near, like, I couldn't even get in within a 5-foot radius of them at the time, but I was able to talk to Sugar, so I projected all of my anger on them, and then I realized in that moment when they called in that favor that they're not as bad as I made them out to be. I made them out to be a really bad person because I was angry and I had no one else to be angry at. So they were the only person I could be angry at, and so I pushed it on them. So then last time I spoke to them was at the coronation, I just told them what I just told you, that I just kind of needed someone to be angry at, and then I ran away because I was scared of what they were going to say next. We also have a new member, I guess.
Oh, who is it? I should meet them.
Their name is Ghost. I'm gonna be frank with you, I don't trust them at all. Reason being, they joined almost immediately after I sent out all of the notes to the kingdoms saying that not only were we alive and out of prison, but that Ash had died. And literally immediately after those letters were sent out, they just show up at my door asking to join the Empire. And I don't know, it could be just me, but I'm not really inclined on trusting many people nowadays, and everything just happened so fast that it seemed too quick. It happened too quickly, but I still let them in the Empire, mainly to watch over them and see what we can learn for them, because if they are a spy, then might as well see what information we can get off them. But if you see them, be careful what you say around them. Don't mention anything specific to the Empire, or specific to us, or specific to our past.
Yeah, no, of course not. I'll keep.
And on that note, if people ask you how Ash died, or why they did, or what happened, just simply tell them that they just passed away and that the specifics was being held confidential to us only, because I just have been doing that out of a sign of respect to Ash, because I have to save what little dignity they have left.
I have no intention of ruining their reputation.
No. Sometimes it makes me sick when people ask and say that they were sorry about Ash, because half of them I know they're not. No one was sorry about Ash. No one has been sorry about Ash except for you, who literally just found out today, but no one's been sorry about Ash. They could care less. Ash was just a mere villain in their story who just caused them pain. No one really cares. No one really cares that they're gone. And yeah, no, that's it. I'm rambling now.
No, you're fine. Now you understand what it feels like to have nobody care. I mean, after Scorp died, I had to run an entire kingdom for a while.
Scorp.
What?
Scorp's alive! Fun fact! Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's alive and well. He's kicking. He's kicking, alright. He also may or may not be now a part of the Arson Empire? Maybe?
You didn't think to tell me this?
Well, where have you been? When would I have been able to tell you? I didn't know where you were. How could I send you a letter if I had no idea where you were? I just also found, like, quite literally, I just found this out a few days ago. He was going by this name, he was going by Gray, but immediately talking to him, and I could immediately tell, so one day he came over, and he had all these questions about Nightshade, and so I agreed to talk to him, answer his questions if he answered mine, and I just kind of sat down, and my first question to him was, "How have you been, Scorp?" And it's him. It's really genuinely him.
No, I thought that was just a sick joke from Daddy.
I can show you something if you really don't believe it. I know that very few people have one of these. He gave this to me, and I know only specific people still have those.
No.
I mean, he's alive.
No.
He faked his
No.
he faked his death. He was never actually killed. He faked his death and went into hiding because he didn't want to rule a kingdom anymore. He's been alive this whole time. He just hasn't told anyone.
Leah, I've been visiting an empty grave for so long, and he's been alive this entire time.
I don't know. He only made his first appearance at the coronation. That's when I first saw him, and then he came to the Arson Empire, and things went.
He can't. No. If he really cared, he would have told me he was alive.
I
Leah, I've spent so long looking for Future and trying to kill her when I find out now that he's alive.
I don't know. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know why. I don't know anything except that he is alive and he never died in the first place. He didn't even know about multiple lives or any of this. He never knew about multiple lives. He never knew about anything. He seemed like he was been living under a rock, far away from our societies.
If he want to put through so much effort to fake his own death and not telling me, he's dead to me.
I was gonna actually bring up Scorp towards the end of our conversation, but you brought it up before I could mention it, so yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. We have some plans, some things that we are going to be setting in motion, and I will keep you. We will be keeping you out of them. I'll keep you updated and stuff, but physically, we're not gonna have you involved in it.
Be careful.
I will. I've been here far too long, far too naive. It's time to take back. It's time to take back some. No, it's time to get revenge. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I will be Scorp. Scorp is. I don't think he's necessarily a part of the Empire itself, but he is aligned with our kingdom in some form. I once again don't really know if he's joining or what he really plans to do, but we have some separate plans of our own that we will be putting in place. And I will say I will keep you updated if you so please. But respectfully, we will be keeping you out of it, as I don't want to put you in any more danger than what you've already been in before.
frankly, I don't care if I'm in danger or not, if it means protecting my friends. I just... Be careful. Please.
We will.
Revenge can eat you up, and trust me, I'm still pissed at Dandy in future. And I still want to kill her, but I don't know anymore.
Honestly, I don't either, but I can't just sit around and do nothing about this. I've been too naive before. I've sat and I've waited. That got me nowhere but my own demise and my own friend's demise. I've watched Cinnamon leave me, I watched Goddess leave me, I watched Bumble leave, I watched Ash leave, all because I just sat around thinking life is great, life is dandy, life is amazing, and I can help everyone, and I can be nice, and everyone will help me. That mindset is no more. I really don't want to use this ever, or any of this. If you see me ever get to that point, I need you to stop me at whatever cost.
I will.
Thank you.
And that's a promise.
Thank you. One more thing before we leave. I had given this to Ash because, quite frankly, you weren't around, so I couldn't really give it to you, but back in the prison, when I'd be spacing out a lot, they weren't space outs, rather, they were memories. I mentioned before that I had been in that situation before. I was supposed to be born a hybrid. I assume something nether-like, as probably that's why I was so drawn to this place. But I was supposed to be born hybrid, but I was born human. And my parents were not too fond of having an all-human child in a hybrid nation, so they locked me away for majority of my childhood years, I believe. Everything is still really foggy. It's like my memory's been erased and traumatic events seem to be triggering it. But one of the things I remember is when I was younger, my mother, part of her wanted to do it, part of her didn't want to do it. But she gave me this locket, and I can't really bring myself to hold on to it, but I wanted to give it to somebody who means a lot to me, and who kind of just as a reminder that they're not alone. And originally I'd given it to Ash once again because you weren't there, and because Ash was kind of alone as it is, so I wanted to remind them that they weren't. But now that they're gone, they said in their letter that I should give it to someone else who would take care of it better. And I want to give it to you. It's just a shell, but...
Thank you, Leah.
Yeah.
I will keep this safe.
Well, is there anything else you wanted to talk about or anything? I know there's been a lot of information just kind of thrown at you all at once.
I should probably go and process it.
Yeah.
I don't have really any news. All I've been doing is mining. Any resources that I have is also the Arson Empire's. Feel free to use it.
Thank you. I hope to see you more around. I missed you so much, man.
Yes.
And hopefully next time we meet, we don't have to talk about everything that we just did.
Hopefully not. Shouldn't be. I mean, now that I'm second in command, I should be a little bit more active, huh?
I mean, I guess.
I should probably head out.
Yeah, you can take as much time as you need to. I'm sorry, once again, I kind of just threw all that onto you, but
no,
I'd rather you know now than me forget and not end up telling you by accident.
It's okay. I just need to process all of that.
Yeah, understandable. Alright, see you later?
Yeah, see you later.
Alright. Hey. I don't know why I'm really here. I think I'm getting more comfortable with being able to come here by myself. I'm gonna start taking action. I have plans to make amends with the Enchanted Forest, make amends hopefully with Sugar, and then I plan to take action back on the people who have wronged us, or me and Iveen specifically. I mentioned it with Iveen, but it's time we act upon the phrase, an eye for an eye. I'm not about to sit around anymore and wait for it to act upon itself. Yeah, that's about it. I guess. I think I'm finally able to come up and talk to you, I guess, this way instead of down in that shrine now. Now that Iveen has my locket, I think a part of me is able to move on. Well, see you later.